Hey there, everybody. This is Gordon with How To with 240. I'm still going through the whole decision making of solar. I do know I could do it. I don't have to hire a company. I could do it. The question I have is actually, I have three questions. Number one, is it worth it? I could go to PGE. We have Portland General Electric here, which is our power company. They will, as you can see here in this paper, they will credit you. So basically, if you tie into the grid, which I'm not saying I'm going to tie into the grid, but if you were to tie in the grid, they will give you credit. They won't give you money, but they will give you credit towards your bill. And what that means is if when you install your system, let's say you're producing 125% of your daily power usage. That means you're selling back 25% of your power every day, or maybe even 10% every day, and they basically start crediting that. So let's say in April, May, you're not using a lot of power and you're creating power, so you're starting to build a surplus of credit. So then come August, when you start running an air conditioner, and your solar system might not be keeping up with it, you can then apply those credits, or they will apply those credits towards your bill to keep your bill down. Or say in December and summer, you get a bunch of credits, and then you're going to use them up in the winter and in fall. That's how that works. Okay, they will not give you cash, but from what I've seen, but that's how it works. The one thing with it is it does not roll over per year. So it'll roll over for the year. So January, February, March, April, May, all of those credits will build up and you can use them. But every March, it's defaulted for every March, spring forward time, they basically wipe out the credits and apply them towards low income people to help pay their bill. I don't know if I like that. I mean, I put the money out for the solar, but it is what it is. So every March, but you can actually change that to a different month if it works out for you. To be a different month, be better. But March is kind of, you made it through winter, and now March, April, May is not a big power usage. So that is when you start building credit back up. So that is a good month to do it if it, it has to be done. So that is one thing about tying into the grid and backfeeding. Number two thing about tying into the grid that I do not think I like. Well, I know I don't like it, but I understand why it is this way. So if you take your inverter and you tie it into the grid and you're supplying power back to PG, to your power company, if the power goes out, if they have an accident or a tree comes across a line and the power goes out, your inverter gets shut off. It's in the programming somewhere that if it doesn't see power coming in, and and their little handshake as the machines talk, it'll shut off and your house still won't have power. Even though you have an inverter and solar, your solar panels are producing power and probably feeding your batteries, but the inverter is not doing anything. So, and the reason being for that is if down the street, half a mile, a tree comes down across the line, or an accident happens, drunk driver hits a pole and lines are on the ground, they do not want your inverter system feeding power backwards on those lines to where a worker gets up there and touches them and gets shocked. This is the reason why that inverter gets shut off. So, or let's say, power comes down, the fuse pops on their side, but yet your side is feeding power in and it's just sitting there hitting the ground and arcing, and they can't work on the person there because they can't turn the power off. They got to figure out where the power's coming from. And then, it would probably take a while to figure out it's coming from your house. So I understand the whole theory behind that. Now, the inverter I'm looking at, if I were to do this, the inverter I'm looking at has one line that you come from your your commercial power, and it comes in and it ties into the input of the inverter. But that can be switched around and programmed to do the backfeed. But I would want it to come from the inverter, from commercial to feed my inverter. So when the inverter is powering, it's powering those breakers and that part of the house. But when the sun goes down or the inverter doesn't have enough, the batteries don't have enough juice to supply that, then it automatically switches over in commercial power, then goes into the inverter and out to the house. And it basically shuts off the inverter. Now you can program it so it goes back the other way, but I just don't know that I want to do that. Especially being this PG doesn't roll your credits over. They donate them to somebody else at the end of the year for the ones you don't use. I don't know. So that's PG commercial side of that. That's Portland General Electric. And I mean, it is a great idea. So in this theory, the way they have it set up, all these people come door knocking, that's the system they use, is they backfeed. Oh, and also there's a bunch of applications you have to go through before you start to make sure that your power system's capable of, your meter and everything's capable of doing it. So they want you to basically go through that first, through that application, and they okay it, so yeah, we could do it. But the door knockers that come by and sell you solar, number one, they're making money on the install. They're making money on every month, because they have a different setup of some sort, because they're getting paid. They're not doing it for free. But anyway, that credit, that's how you get away with not having a battery, is you're, boom, always running on commercial power, always. But it's crediting you back and forth. So it's, even though you have a solar panel up there, you're still hooked up to commercial power and running on commercial power. Your inverter is feeding power back, and you're getting credits. And so you might not be getting a bill. That's because your credits are paying for it, or your company that you're doing the work from is paying for it. Okay, so that's that PG side of everything. The second thing I have a question about, or an idea, it's not really even a question, it's an idea. If I were to, so my house needs a new roof. It's 20 years old and it's showing some wear. It's probably got 3 or 4 more years left on it. But if I were to do this, I'm not going to put solar panels up on an old roof, so I would need to re-roof the house, which I used to own a roofing company, so I know roofers. That's not a problem. Wiring it, installing the system, not a problem. I can do all that. The question I have is a money question. You guys can chime in on this, or if it's like opens up your eyeballs to, oh shoot, that's not a bad idea. I don't know if it is. I think it is. I can get a home equity loan, put a new roof up, tear off the old roof, put a new roof up, get a solar system installed. I install it because obviously it saved about $30,000, $20,000 maybe, I don't know. So I install it, get everything up and running. I then take the money I would pay PGE every month, the power bill, the power company, and apply that towards the loan. Last year I averaged $500 a month on my power. And it just went up 18% this year. And it's going up another 18% next year. That's 36% in 2 years it's going to raise for Portland General Electric, from what I've heard and what I've read. So if I spent $6,000 last year, 18% of $6,000, and then another 18% of that, that's why I'm really looking into this. So basically, if I even took last year's bill, average $5,000, I'm sorry, $500 a month, we spent $6,000 for the year. So $500 a month. Our house is all electric. Cadet heaters. There's no heat pump. Electric water heater. A hot tub. A shop. So everything's power. The range, everything. There's no gas. I live out in the boonies, so it's all power. I could put propane in, but after I buy everything new propane, wouldn't I just spend the money and put up solar? If I spend the money to put in a heat pump, why don't I just spend the money and put in solar? And keep everything the way it is and just put in solar. So I can get a loan use the money that I would have paid PG, the power company, and in 5 years, maybe 6 years, be paid off, solar system's paid off, and I got a roof out of it. Is that not mathematically right? Oh, and I'm not even talking about the tax credit I would get for putting the solar in. Gotta make sense. Number 3. Sitting in the hot tub this morning, just kind of still thinking about what I can do and all that, and looking down at my creek, and I don't think I have the creek volume to put in a 6-inch. Well, actually, this is another thing. I'm getting kind of off topic here, but my creek, my pond, I don't have the volume. I probably do in the dead of winter have the volume to put in a 6-inch turbine down there to create power. I do not have the head volumes for the other type of turbine, the high or low flow, high head turbine. I don't have that. So if I ever did anything down there, it'd have to be off of a water wheel and built it that way, and then put my generator / alternator, whatever, on there to create my power. But the problem is with that, it's about 300 feet up here to the house. So cost effective, I don't think it would be cost effective to put in any any hydro system down there because of it's so far, and the power, the wire to get up here, I don't know how much I would lose if I had something down there creating, if I had two alternators down there creating power, 3-phase power. I had to run it 300 feet up to the house. That's like probably number 6 wire, 300 feet. That's a lot of money for that wire. So I don't know if that would be feasible or not. But as I'm doing that, I'm thinking, I got these Wise floodlights that are LED lights with a camera on them. They're great cameras. Wise, W-Y-Z-E, great. Here it is right here. Great equipment. And the cameras are awesome. And everything that's about them is reasonable. Everything. I have version 2 of this floodlight. So I have version 2 of this floodlight. This one right here. I paid $54 for it. Actually, I think I paid $89 for them. But anyway, those are 48 watts for those two. And they're pretty good floods. This one's the new one. It's 5 watts to run that dang thing. This is 28,000 lumens. That's pretty bright. Actually, that's version 2. That's version 1. Here's version 2. That's what I have. So that's pretty bright. Now, the idea I have is, why couldn't I take 2 of those, put up on my roof, and shine those suckers down on the panels at night? Sorry about that. Why couldn't I shine those down on the panels at night at 5 watts if I spent $150 for 2 of these, and they're 3,000 lumens? So if I spent $300 on 2 of these, put them up there, I have a camera, I could actually look at solar, or I could put 2 of them on one side and 2 of them out the back, shine it out the backyard. That'd be kind of cool with the cameras out there. Anyway, if I put 2 of these on solar panels, pulling 10 watts and getting 6,000 lumens out of them. I think I said those other ones were 28,000. That's wrong. It must have been 2,800 lumens on the version 2. That would create something, I'm thinking, on those panels at night to give me more power at night, because 10 watts for 2 of those full, that would be 6 floodlights shining on it. I don't know if that would work or not, but that might be a heck of an experiment. Anyway, you heard that one first here from me, because I'm always thinking. Anyway, guys, that's my thoughts for the day. Still really thinking solar. And, if you can do the install yourself, why wouldn't you do it? Especially if you need a new roof, you could take out a loan. And because I just think the money that you would save not paying your commercial power company could actually pay for the loan. I don't know. Talk to you later. See you on the next one.